But yeah, it's super basic. Yeah. So yeah, but I mean, you can put bigger things on a credit card if there are some credit cards you can get for going to school, specifically for college, and those can help build up your credit score if you're going through college, because then it's something that you can go ahead and raise your credit score with. It'll help you later in life. Yeah, setting up your own account. When you get to that age, though, make sure that before you set up your debit account, make sure that you get yourself a nice little job, part time, where you work, maybe the weekends. Maybe you go ahead and work, you know, after school on a couple of days, and then just use it for basic stuffs that you want to go ahead and just go ahead and use to build up your credit. Small things. Maybe you go ahead and set down, like he's saying, clothing. A little bit of snacks. If you have a car that is a hand-me-down car, you can use it for gas. Or like a scooter. I don't know. I don't know what people would commonly drive in Lithuania. If they drive something, a scooter maybe, like a Vespa. Because I do remember that in Europe, I do recall that cars are less common, and it's more, you'd want scooters or motorcycles, things like that. But yeah, but like over the summer, real great time to get a job. You can get a summer job, and that'll usually have you working pretty close to full time, as close to full time as your country will allow you. And then you can go ahead and save up that money for using throughout the rest of the year. It's a really great way to go ahead and learn money management too. I think this will be enough woad, because as I recall, it was, so it's probably going to be 25 to get 50 blue dye out of this woad. So let me go ahead and test that real quick. You know what? Let me carry on mod. Let me use carry on mod. Oh yeah, getting your own card is a huge bit of liberation, but you have to be, you have to make sure that you're not overdoing, in essence. I think what I'm going to do is make 25 of this into woad seeds, so I get 75 woad seeds. But yeah, you got to make sure that you're not overdoing it and putting yourself potentially into bankruptcy, because you don't want to go into that. But see, there might be some differences in Lithuania on what you can and cannot do in terms of like the landscaping stuff. But I do know that here, because we live in a desert, you usually can't get jobs like that as a miner. That's just because I live in a desert. Now that's a pretty good idea. That's a great way to go ahead and be self-sustaining, if you can do that. Yeah, I live in a desert. It's, desert living is not for everyone, but I was born here, I was raised in the desert, and it's where I like to be. Now, well, it's not for everyone, though, that's the thing. If you ever visit a desert, you might... And mind you, it's not a desert what you're thinking about in terms of just sand everywhere. It is not like that. I mean, you can look up the Sonoran Desert. The Sonoran Desert is around where I live. Sonoran. Sanoran, I believe. I'm terrible at spelling. No, it's Sonarn. Something like that. I'll have to go look it up. Here, I can do it right now. You won't see me looking it up because I don't. Yeah, Sonoran. No, but Sonoran Desert extends into the United States. So it's not all just in Mexico. Yeah, I'm pretty close to California. It's only about it's yeah, semi-savanna / Sahara type. Yeah. I live in Arizona, so I will say that feel pretty safe to say that online, but yeah. So, but it's I like it. That's the thing. I'm not going to say that I would feel just at home, say on the savannas of Africa, but it wouldn't take me very long to adjust to that sort of environment. I do think they're beautiful, though. So Arizona, where I'm at right now, it is 105 degrees Fahrenheit. So, just a quick rough estimate. It's what, around 40 some Celsius? I think it's like 45 or something like that Celsius. I think. So I've got the woad planted, yeah. Now I need to focus on getting these turned into blue dye barrels. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I can go look that. I can do a quick conversion online. It'll be more accurate. Yeah, 40.5. 40.5 degrees Celsius. It's just a game. You said you're from South Africa, right? Why don't you tell them some of the temps that go on in South Africa? It's not just the USA that does crazy stuff like that. Yep. And plus, if you go north in America, oh, it's especially if you go, if you're talking about Washington State or, oh, even better, Alaska or Maine, you'd be lucky if you go ahead and get above, I want to say 20 Celsius. There's a range of us. There's a range of Americans. Some of us do like the medium heat. Some of us like the really hot stuff. It's just, it's a part of being a multicultural area. A lot of people like a lot of different things. Yeah, and this, where I am right now, isn't even the hottest place in my state. The capital city of my state often gets up to 130 during their extreme heat waves. That's Fahrenheit, so that would be what? Oh, 48 C or something like that? Oh, if you hear a buzzing sound, what you're probably hearing is my computer. And the reason why you can hear my computer is because I have Noctua case fans. And you might be thinking, but those are very quiet case fans. I do not have the quiet case fans. I have, very specifically, it's here. If I go ahead and do this, does the buzzing decrease a bit? So the buzzing has decreased, you know, that would be my case fans. But my screen doesn't actually have any buzz. Yeah. Yeah, that what you're hearing is the vibrations traveling through my desk that is being made by the Noctua industrial grade fans that I have installed in my PC. Not a PS4, but they are industrial grade fans. Let's see, what was I going to do again? Probably going to have a nap because these little dummies are out trying to kill me. Yeah, it is going to airlift off, especially if I turn my card into aircraft mode, my GPU. You could have a good PC. Well, which GPU do you have? I guarantee you it's better than you think. Oh. Well, have you tried looking for something in the 700 series? Like the 780 or maybe even the 980? You want to go really high end for that sort of stuff? They're pretty cheap right now, and that would be an upgrade. Great 1080 cards. Pretty cheap, too. Let's see, what else is on the to-do list today? So, I've gotten the WOD die going, and the WOD die is done, which means that I can go ahead and take my super duper fancy smancy sand, dirt, and grass out of my box and take the barrels and use them to make more blue. Okay, who just hit me? Probably wasn't this guy. There's probably a... Oh no, it's really easy. There are some very cheap GPUs out there that would fit perfectly for you. Some very cheap CPUs too. You just have to know where to look. I mean, we're talking, you can get something for 150 US smackaroos and GPU. I mean, for a full PC, there are some full PCs for that price. And they will go ahead and play most games in 1080p. I do know that's quite a lot in many different countries. I'm not trying to be insensitive, I'm just saying that is an option. So let's go ahead and get 2 more big old crafts. 2, 3, 4, 5. Luckily these are pretty quick to die. Otherwise it would be really annoying dying all this daub. But I probably should make more barrels. And get more sticks, and so on and so forth. Be careful with selling your PCs and getting a new one. That's definitely a after you get your job, because you have to have a somewhat good... If that's 660, that'll do 720p gaming. So that's a good place to start. But if you're gonna do any upgrades, you know, I mean, don't go for any of the 50s. If you see an Nvidia card that's like the whatever 1050, I would stay away from those. They're not good price. They're bad price performance. If anything, I would look at AMD cards. Oh, well, Dying Light 1, when you turn it to super low graphics settings, is super optimized. Gosh, I like the optimization they did for Dying Light 1. They did a good job. And Fortnite, they just don't optimize anything. But, oh, AMD is, if you want to go for a brand new card, AMD is the way to go right now. Because everything NVIDIA released is overpriced. Although, if you want to jump straight to a brand new card, and then you probably want to look at either NVIDIA 5060 Ti, do not get the 8GB version. And for AMD, look for their older 7000 series. That would be the latest I would say to go for right now. And like what you go for is basically a 5060 to save money. 4090 is yeah, that's $1,000. That's $2,000. You know, those really aren't worth it. Neither is the 5090. None of those super enthusiast tier, you know, those basically intro to AI tier cards are really worth it. So that's what those are. They're AI cards. But yeah, like the 7600 XT, that's a great one to go for. The 5060 Ti is okay if you have to be Team Green. I would say stay away from Team Green, though, as a rule. Because NVIDIA just has not been playing very nice. But yeah, AMD just seems to be the way to go. Yeah. But yeah, that's a lot of people go ahead and recommend the NVIDIA 700 series. If you're going to go ahead, if you're starting super low budget, because they're just great price, and if you can find one that's used, it's a pretty good deal. But yeah, the only reason why I say 7600 XT, if you're going to go, that would be the latest I'd say for AMD. But the 6700 XT is also very good if you want to get into a budget sort of card area. So 6700 XT. Pretty good price. CPUs? What CPU do you have right now? Do you know? Because I know a lot about CPUs. Oh no, I need those sticks. I'll give me 3 more barrels. Alrighty. Six more. And sand, dirt. I put away the other stuff. Need that grass. Dirt, sand, clay, 2, 3, 4, 5, seal, 2, 3, 4, 5, seal, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, seal, I5, 3570K. Well, that one's actually not awful. But I don't actually know what socket that's in. I will look that up for you. What socket are you in? The FC LGA 155. So I think as I recall, isn't that Cabby Lake or Sky Lake? I think that's Sky Lake. Yeah. Yeah, that's what the actual, what your motherboard is, the part that goes into your motherboard. That's okay. You actually have to sit down and read and learn about this sort of stuff. It's not easy. So I think that's, I think, looking at the time that it was produced at, 2019, yeah, that was probably Cabby Lake, not Coffee. So you probably would need something in the Cabby Lake if you don't want to upgrade your motherboard. But that right there is a decent quad-core CPU. I assume that you can use it for pretty much anything that you want. Oh, awesome. These are done. More Daub. Everybody wants more Daub. I'm going to need to go ahead and switch over to the bucket. Right click. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 5. Oh, get in there. Let's already open. There we go. Yeah, that's normal for Google Chrome. Google Chrome is a RAM hog. If you don't like that, you can switch to Opera GX. They usually have... That's a pretty good option for if you don't want to deal with how Google Chrome steals RAM. So you can actually control how much RAM that Opera GX is using. I actually have a fair amount of blue clay. A good old patch of it. Although red clay, yeah, I have noticed red clay has become very common. I have a little patch of blue clay right here. I got lucky. I didn't even know that there was a blue clay patch there. And had I not found that, it was going to be very annoying to get this nice light brown wattle and daub. Yeah, now I've got that. And that's the only way I've been able to get the blue wattle and daub. I think you can turn that off too, in terms of how that Opera GX works in saving tabs. So I think, yeah, these are just waiting for those to be done. Take this off my sidebar there, save a little food. And now I'm just going to have to wait for the woad that I planted over here. Yeah, I'm going to have to wait until these are done growing. So that way we can have more woad. Most of them do make it pretty easy. It's usually just one click and it'll transfer everything over from Chrome to Opera GX. Ooh, fish! That's a good little bit of food. And that one turned into rot. I need to check this more often. Where's my knife? Did I break my knife? Already? Maybe I put it in a box? Must have broken it already. Well, I guess I'll just make another. Oh, so it had a little kind of like black speckled texture mark on it, which indicates that it's rotten. Oh, I got some... Ooh. That'll help return some of the fish population. Ta-da! No, yeah, when they go ahead and have kind of like a little black speckling... Oh, black flint? No, that was obsidian. It's basically kind of like... it's the one... as tools made out of obsidian will be like at tier 1 or 0.5. I don't know, some people consider copper tier 1. Let's see here. I do have 4 fish fillets, which I can use to make a quick little meal. So I think what I'm going to do is do 2 servings apiece of fish. And I will crack this open, and I will grab 4 mushrooms. Alrighty. Now I just need to go get some wood.